Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and I'd like to welcome you back to another episode of Coffee, Cats, and King, where we will discuss books both new and old. I will share with you pictures of my cats who will make you wish they were your cats, and I will drink enough coffee for me and everybody watching. Got my Dunkin' Donuts blueberry flavored coffee today, compliments of my lovely wife. And my shirt is another classic Twilight Zone episode and the absolute worst nightmare for book lovers worldwide. I want to give a quick shout out to a wonderful little channel that I recently started following. This is Diaries, and it's run by a Latvian woman named Dida, and she's great. She's a big horror fan. Like I said, she's just starting out. She's only been on here for maybe 3 or 4 weeks now. Only has 20 or so subscribers, but she's really great. She's doing some awesome stuff. She's a Stephen King fan. She's a horror fan. She just did this awesome review on Haruki Murakami's 1Q84 trilogy. Just finished watching that the other day, and I'm telling you, it's good stuff. You can just tell that this lady is passionate about books, that she knows what she's talking about, and she's just excited to be on here like the rest of us are. So please go over to Addict Diaries. I'll link her channel below. Check her out, give her a little love, give her some support. She's going to do great things. About today's video, I told you guys I'm going to do some stuff that was not book related, and this is going to be the first of it. So I decided today to do a 10 underrated horror movie hidden gems. These are not the 10 best horror movies that I've watched or anything like that. I'm not even prepared to go anywhere near that kind of video. These are just 10 horror movies that I really enjoy, that I don't think get enough love, that a lot of people haven't heard of, and I think that's a crime. I think it needs to be fixed. Okay, and I am going to be reading off this paper because memory and me, we don't go along together so well, so I'm going to be reading off the paper. Structured in a particular way. I'm going to give you the movie title, give you the date that it came out, and give you your best options for where to find this movie to watch it. So I tried to keep this to movies that are very easily accessible. I'm not going to, tell you about a movie that there's no possible way for you to find. That wouldn't be fair. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to give you the synopsis that's given for the movie, maybe talk about it a little bit, and we'll see how it goes from there. So, movie number 1 is the second oldest movie on this list. This is the 1987 movie Dolls. And as the name suggests, really should tell you everything you need to know about this movie, but here's the synopsis. A group of motorists, including young Jodie Bauer, her horrible father, her evil queen of a stepmother, and a meek businessman, become stranded at a spooky mansion during a nighttime thunderstorm. The house's strange owners offer overnight lodgings, but with dastardly intentions of making their visitors the playthings of their murderous toy dolls. So, I've told you guys before that I have a very strange love of creepy, spooky, evil dolls and toys and things like that. So, of course, Dolls had to be on this list. This is one I think that's a little more popular, more people are going to know, but if you haven't watched it before, it's really excellent. Genuinely creepy and scary. These dolls will mess with your mind, but oddly enough, it kind of has a very positive message at the same time. Those of you that have watched it, you know what I'm talking about. Those of you that haven't, you will if you watch it. It's a great movie. You can find this on Vudu, that's VUDU, for $4 to rent. So, great movie. Check it out if you're into creepy dolls and you want something other than, Chucky. Next movie is a Lovecraftian movie. This is the 1994 In the Mouth of Madness, and you can watch this on YouTube for $3. So this is based off of one of Lovecraft's stories, and oddly enough, I feel like his stuff really hasn't had that many renditions within the film realm, but this is one of them, and this is definitely one of the better. So, it says, When horror novelist Sutter Kane goes missing, insurance investigator John Trent scrutinizes the claim made by his publisher and endeavors to retrieve a yet-to-be-released manuscript and ascertain the writer's whereabouts. Accompanied by the novelist's editor, Linda Stiles, and disturbed by nightmares from reading Kane's other novels, Trent makes an eerie nighttime trip to a supernatural town in New Hampshire. So, like I said, it's a really cool movie. Sutter Kane is a pretty awesome villain for this. The insurance agent, he's just, man, he is so far out of his realm, and he just doesn't even know it. And once you, as the viewer, knows what's going on, you're just like, you're hoping this poor guy can figure it out and get out of there before things go down. But it's a Lovecraft story. You know that's not going to happen. But really great stuff. There's some very creepy moments in there, some excellent effects, and just a really cool Lovecraftian movie, which we don't get many of. Moving on to number 3. This is one that I think has become a little more popular recently, and I still think that more people need to watch this movie, though. This is Triangle. It came out in 2009, and you can watch this for free on YouTube, Amazon, Vudu, or Tubi. So you have plenty of options there, no excuse not to watch it. And this movie, before I even tell you about the synopsis, this movie will mess with your mind, and it goes to some very dark places. Very dark places. There's one particular scene, actually, that, man, when it happened, I was sitting there and I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? It was fantastic. If you watch the movie, you probably know exactly which scene I'm talking about. But let me give you the synopsis here. Yacht passengers encounter mysterious weather conditions that force them to jump onto another ship, only to have the odd havoc increase when an unseen attacker starts killing them off. So, it's a very short synopsis. I don't think it does the movie justice whatsoever. I will tell you this, it is very psychologically and mentally draining. It is not a movie you're going to be able to, just watch with a bucket of popcorn and enjoy. It's very disturbing. Really excellent stuff in there. I will say a quick trigger warning. There is child abuse. So if you can't handle that, skip this one. If you're okay with that, or not okay with it, but you know what I mean, if you can handle it in small doses, Triangle is a really messed up movie. Really messes with your mind, twists things around, and when you figure out the twist, when you figure out what's going on, phew, man, it's awesome. Next, I'm going to talk about a movie that came out in 1990, and this one is horror, but it also fits in that weird action-y cop movie style that was so popular then. And this is 1990's The First Power. Stars one of my favorite actors from that time, Lou Diamond Phillips. Very underrated guy in my opinion. I really like the guy. But the synopsis is another very quick one. It says, a Los Angeles policeman hunts a killer brought back from the gas chamber by Satan. It's free to watch on YouTube. I suggest you watch it. Is it cheesy? Absolutely. Is it outright horror? No, not always. A lot of times it feels like I said, it feels like those 90s crime cop movies, but with a horror twist. That said, it's a lot of fun. It's not the scariest movie, but it's just a lot of fun to watch. And it's got some neat tricks up its sleeve that you might not expect. Moving on, I'm going to talk about one of the newer movies, not the newest movie, but one of the newer movies on this list, and that is 2015's Strangeland. So, this is free to watch on Tubi as well as Amazon. So again, no excuses, you don't even have to pay for it. This is a synopsis. A small town on the Arizona-Mexico border is wiped out, and suspicion falls on the lone survivor, an illegal immigrant who managed to record photographic evidence of what truly happened. So, this movie is super cool. It's set up as if it's one of those, fake documentaries. And it actually looks like something off of the True Crime channel. A lot of it is told in interviews, and I'm telling you, if you just let yourself get invested in it, there are times where you're going to think this movie's real, that it's based off of true events. In fact, if you look it up on Google, you're going to find that that's one of the big questions people ask about this movie. That's one of the top searches, is, did this happen? Is this real? So it gives you an idea of how well they made this movie. They have these moments in the movie where they're sharing the photographs that this guy took. And those are the highlights. When you see those photos, you have to keep watching, because man, they are so creepy, and you have to know what's going on with this movie. Check it out. It's a great movie, great mockumentary, if you will. Awesome stuff. Okay, we're moving on to another 1990s movie, and this is another. It's horror, but it's also a lot more actiony, and this one is just absolutely insane. It's all over the place, and it's crazy. But this is 1990s The Ambulance, and The Ambulance can be watched for free on YouTube. Just do a little digging, it's there. So I'm gonna read you the synopsis. Here we go. When comic book artist Josh meets Cheryl, he immediately falls for her. Unfortunately, she immediately takes a fall as well, collapsing in the street. It turns out Cheryl is diabetic, so Josh calls for an ambulance and promises to meet her at the hospital. When he arrives, however, the hospital has no record of Cheryl. It is now up to Josh to find the ambulance that took her away and find out what's going on. So, The Ambulance is at heart a horror movie, but like I said, it's not supernatural or anything like that. It is, however, just an insanely crazy ride. It's not scary necessarily. It's just a whole lot of fun. It's over the top and ridiculous. The plot is utterly insane, but somehow you kind of have to believe that it could potentially happen. And like I said, it's just a blast. It's so much fun. I put this one on the list, like I said, not because it's horrific, but because it's just a really fun movie that a lot of people have not even heard of, haven't watched. Go check it out. Moving on here, talking about the newest movie on this list. And sadly, this is one you will have to pay for, but it's worth it. This is 2018's Witch in the Window. You can watch this for $4 on YouTube or $3 on Vudu, for those of you who want to stick to YouTube. And the synopsis says, when Simon brings his 12-year-old son to rural Vermont to help flip an old farmhouse, they soon learn that the house is already occupied by the malicious spirit of a previous owner. So, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, this movie originally came out as a Shudder original. I assume it's still on Shudder, but like I said, now it's made its way to Vudu and YouTube if you want to check it out there. This movie is very atmospheric. It's got much more of a classic haunted house feel. It has jump scares, but they're actually very well done, in my opinion. And it builds the tension very well. It's creepy, and more importantly in this case, I feel like the I feel like the actors and actresses actually act in a way that a real person would, should they come across a specter or ghoul or ghost or whatever you want to call this thing. And by that, I watch a lot of movies where something happens and it's so utterly stupid, because you know that no sane individual would ever actually react in that way. But in this case, in Witch in the Window, the characters feel very real, and the jump scares are done in an excellent way. Some of the best I've seen in recent movies anyway. And it's just a really excellent movie. Again, it might still be on Shudder. If not, you can check it out on YouTube or Vudu. Okay, so we're down to 3 movies. Down to the last 3. And actually it's 4 because there's a bonus in there, but we'll get to that. Last three movies, and they're all from the late 90s. First up, I'm going to talk about another one that is just an absolute blast. This is 1997's Wishmaster. And this is one that's maybe a little more popular and more people have seen it. It is available on YouTube, Amazon, or Vudu for $4 to rent. And the synopsis is very quick. It says, a gemologist, played by Tammy Lauren, unwittingly frees an evil genie that plays deadly tricks on her friends and acquaintances. I feel like it's a terrible synopsis, but this lady, she finds this massive gemstone. There's something strange about it in the center. Turns out that this genie is inside of it, and this guy is not too happy. They accidentally release him, and he goes on a massive killing spree. The movie's good. It's different. You don't see many genie movies at all, but horror genies, I don't even know where to start with that, honestly. But what's really cool about Wishmaster are the kill scenes. It has some of the most creative, just fun, original kill scenes I've seen in a very long time. For those of you that have seen it, you know what I'm talking about, like with the sliding doors. Yeah, just check it out. I know a lot of people have seen this one probably already, but if you haven't, it's worth a watch. Going from a fun movie to a really messed up movie. This is 1998's Strangeland. And this is on YouTube, Amazon, or Vudu for $4. What's interesting about this movie is the lead bad guy is actually played by Dee Snider, who's the frontman from Twisted Sister. And surprisingly, Dee does an awesome job as a villain. So, let me give you the synopsis. A pierced and tattooed sadist, Captain Howdy, trolls the internet for naive teens, luring them to his home and defiling them. When he kidnaps and tortures the daughter of a police detective, he is caught. Deemed insane, he's sent to an asylum but is released soon after, seemingly better. However, Detective Gage knows it's only a matter of time before Howdy strikes again, and he's ready to unleash his own form of retribution when the time comes. So, Strangeland is a terrifically messed up movie. Like I said, Dee Snider is so freaking scary as a villain. Just right from the start, it is vicious. There's torture and violence to this poor girl, and it's pretty extreme at times. So if you cannot handle that sort of thing, skip this one. If you can, this is an excellent crime-style horror. I said there's nothing supernatural about it or anything like that. This is just a horrific, brutal movie, but it's an awesome movie. And Dee Snider does a fantastic job. A lot of people have not heard of this one, but like I said, if you're into crime, if you enjoy, for instance, the Hannibal Lecter movies, Red Dragon and all that, you're going to love Strangeland. Okay, I've got one more to talk about from the 10 original, and it is the oldest on here. You can watch it for free on Tubi, and that is 1979's Tourist Trap. So, another short synopsis here says, a group of stranded teenagers falls prey to the demented owner of a roadside museum and his army of evil mannequins. So yes, I did include one more on here that has creepy toys / dolls. I actually had another one I wanted to add, but I'll save that for a later video. Tourist Trap. Like I said, it's the oldest one on here, but it has some really great effects. The mannequins that are used are genuinely creepy. Some of the scenes will make you jump and will make you want to turn the lights on if you're watching without. And it's the precursor to a couple other movies that came around soon thereafter that maybe got more popular. And if you watch it, you'll know which movies I'm talking about. But it does an excellent job. The villain he's a spooky guy. You know something's wrong right from the start, but these kids just don't seem to get it. And man, when those mannequins go into action, the creepiness just jumps to a different level. And like I said, even now, you know, some, what, 30 some years later, it's a creepy movie. Check it out. I highly suggest it. And then there's one more I want to talk about. Those were the 10, but there's one more I wanted to talk about. I included this as a bonus only because it's going to be really hard for anyone to find it. I wanted to keep it as movies that you guys could easily access. This one you cannot. If you do happen to find it, you know, find a copy on eBay or something, awesome. Pick it up if you can find it for a good price, because it's super hard to get a hold of. But it's a really cool movie. That is 1989's I, Madman. This is another one that, you know, much like In the Mouth of Madness, takes a horror novelist and puts him at the center of things. This says, beautiful bookseller Virginia fosters a growing interest in the works of reclusive novelist Malcolm Brand. After much searching, she finally receives a package containing his recent book, I, Madman, about a deranged doctor spurned by a beautiful woman. As Virginia reads, she begins to have chilling visions of characters from the book, and the line between fiction and reality grows terrifyingly thin. So she starts reading this book, and it's cool because as she's reading this book, they're playing out scenes from the book, you know, in the movie, and this madman doctor, basically he's cut his face all up, cut his ears off, his nose, his mouth, everything else, and he's trying to make himself beautiful so that this woman he's obsessed with will come back to him. And so Virginia is reading this book, and of course she starts seeing the doctor, you know, out of the corner of her eye. She's having these dreams about him showing up at her house, and he's obsessed with her now. And it's a super creepy movie. There's some really cheesy stuff in there, but some really awesome scenes as well. They do a great job actually with the makeup effects in particular. And again, it's just one of those movies that I don't hear people talk about, but I wish it was more easily accessible, because it's a really cool movie. I don't even own a copy myself. I would love to if I could find one. But if you can find it, pick it up. It's really awesome. That's it, guys. Those are my 10 plus the bonus underrated horror movie hidden gems. I had a lot of fun with this movie list, and I've actually kind of already started another one for the future. Tell me what you guys think. If you enjoy these kind of off-brand videos, let me know down below. If you are not at all interested in this and you want me to forget about these in the future, then, you know, feel free to say so. If you've watched any of these, which I'm sure some of you have, let me know. Any that you're interested in particular, or you want more information on, I'm always willing to give you more information. So, thank you again for joining me. Again, check out Attic Diaries. I'll have her linked below. She's really great, and she deserves a lot of love, guys. She's doing great things. She's a really cool lady. Just give her some support. Put a little cat footage in here. That's it, guys. I will be back again with some more bookish videos and a couple little surprise videos coming up here as well. Some tags, everything like that. Thank you as always for joining me, and have a wonderful weekend. Cheers.